Matt, you guys, didn't out-rebound them on the offensive edge. They made a bunch of threes. How were you guys able to pull this out late?
Well, obviously, we had to keep scoring the basketball. To be only down 2 points and they made 13 threes in the first half, because I don't think I've ever been a part of a game like that. Normally somebody gets a large amount of threes, like you're behind. You're really behind, double digits. So we just had to keep executing, which we did at the start of the second half. We had those turnovers to start. We had a very good start there. We just had to settle down. Obviously, making shots helps, but just keep executing, getting quality shots, and then trying to make it hard on them. We had a lot of breakdowns, with Mark Sears. They went to some flare action that we looked at like a UFO, like we'd never seen it before, and just kept getting shot after shot. Didn't communicate the flare, didn't stay on the same path with him, and credit their coaching staff for going to something that they don't do much. When they found a weakness of ours, they really went to it and stayed with it. But just not a fun game to coach, probably a fun game to play in and a fun game to watch, right? Just, we had to outscore them a little bit. But to our guys' credit, we hung tough and we made our free throws. And we didn't turn the basketball over, which, really helped. We just had to keep getting quality shots.
Coach, obviously being down 12 a lot, but then coming back, winning the game, and then how much did the crowd help fuel your guys out there today?
Yeah, I think the one stretch where, Braden made those threes and Zach was getting some pretty good opportunities at the rim. When we subbed, and Mason Gillis made a three, and Miles Colvin made a three, that really helped us. It really gave us a spark right there. And those guys, they make 19 threes and they lose. That doesn't happen very often. But we were able to make some shots there in that stretch. But we just had such a tough start to the second half. We had turnovers, we had some breakdowns. The way they came out in the first half, it was like they were never going to miss. And so, you have to make things tougher without fouling. And we did to a degree. But they were still pretty good. But I thought our guys in that second half just kind of hung in there when we got down. And we're able to, you can't make a run if you don't get stops, right? So we're able to make some shots and set our defense and then do a better job defensively. I can't hear you.
What could you say about Zach and not just his performance, but what he's meant for the program and coming back, and what this type of a game means to him to get here?
Yeah, well, he's a cornerstone of our program. When you're the national player of the year, when you come back and you put up better numbers and you make improvements, I think it's frustrating for some guys because their value lies with him, right? How do you play with him? How do you play with him on the defensive end? How do you play with him on the offensive end? And kind of that compatibility is really important because he's the guy that they got to worry about. So if you can make shots or you can execute, you can pass, you're a great defender, you're a great rebounder, all those things are going to help you get on the court. But our guys have really been unselfish and really have sacrificed, for our team. We have a lot of guys that don't start that are starters. But he's been great. His work ethic from day one's been great. He enjoys basketball. He's competitive. He's got a fight to him, and he wants to win. If you come in doubling, he's a willing passer. If you don't, then we always tell him to score the basketball. So we try to keep it as simple as possible for him. But he affects winning in a lot of ways. He didn't dominate the class tonight, probably because they didn't miss a whole lot. But normally in a game like this, he's going to get you 12 to 15 rebounds. But I think he'll take 35 and 7 and win.
Matt, they shot 45. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
So they shot 25 threes in the first half, only 5-2. So that was clearly by design, something they want to do against you. How much did you have to figure out on the fly defensively in terms of who kind of worked in a game like that and what you had to do about it? Did your defensive game plan kind of go out the window there?
No, it's, they didn't do anything besides the flare action that we didn't know about. That's just how good they are. They're that shifty. Estrada and Sears, they can get away from you. When you can do crossover, double step back threes, and the ball doesn't touch the rim, hats off to you. You got to stay into them and not lose them. and the way they attack and the way they go, through their ball screen motion. So 80% of their possessions coming into this game are 0 to 2 passes. So you don't have to play defense for a long period of time. You just have to handle extreme skill and extreme quickness really at every position. And so then they get Grant Nelson and they get him out in space, and then he drives the basketball, and that makes it really hard. But they got a hot hand tonight and they stayed with it, and rightfully so.
Coach, I wonder, I know this wasn't what you were most focused on, but whether there might be something you noticed about Zach that kind of showed what this game and this environment meant to him personally, maybe afterwards as he walked around.
No, just he's got a lot of pride, being from Canada, his home country, and I think just being able to schedule this game and getting back here, I think was great. A great reward for him to, he has a lot of friends and family that have never, seen him play in person, never been to Purdue, So just the fact we're able to get him back here and have this experience, and we should do this, for everything he's done for us. I think sometimes that, players come and like, this is your program, this is how we do it, and we're really not that way. We kind of mold around our players and really mold around our best players, right? And so like, he's a guy that sacrificed, and he was going to get drafted in the second round. He was probably going to get a minimum contract, and he was probably going to play a lot of games in the G League. That's just a fact. So he's trying to upset the apple cart and get people to look at him because he's a winner. Because he does things to affect the game, and people got to deal with it. And I think, he just keeps kind of pushing the envelope. People think he doesn't, maybe go into a bucket at the professional level, but if you come watch our game, you walk away impressed. You walk away impressed how hard he plays, what a good teammate he is, and just how he affects the game. And I know the game's different, but I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he's kept working and kept improving, and obviously he's done a lot for us.
Matt, do you think this game in some ways was kind of won with not panicking when we get down 12 and they come out and blitzing from the onset?
Yeah, no question. Just keep going. Just keep playing. And obviously, we had a bad stretch to get it to 12, or you could look at it from their perspective. They had a good stretch, right? It just depends on how you want to look at it, depending on who you're rooting for. But like, you have a bad stretch, then once it's 12, that's going to be harder. We were able to make some shots there, make some plays, and get some things going, and then get that lead back to where it was a possession game. And I think that was really important.
Talked a lot about the depth of this team, and you have starters that are coming off the bench. Miles Colburn, Cam Heidi, having to go with Caleb and Zach at the same time.
Right.
Is this a game that kind of exemplified that hey, we're pretty deep here and can do some different things?
Yeah, no question. Caleb, I thought really helped us on the defensive end. I thought his athleticism, just his nose for the basketball, got him in there, and he did some really good things for us. Miles makes that shot, but he also, did some good things defensively. Knew what was going on. Cam did some really good things. Ethan Morton was really good. You look at his plus minus for somebody playing 13 minutes. His plus minus is off the chart for somebody who's playing, minimal minutes there. He's done a lot of really good things for us, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, Braden Smith was big time. He was big time. His reads, coming off ball screens, passing the basketball, getting to the rim, shooting pull-up threes. Like he doesn't have, because he was 9 for 20, like he didn't have that game last year because he kind of came in and out of his confidence. And now we've really just tried to encourage him to keep being on the hunt. Whatever they give you, take it. They're going to give you pull-up threes, take pull-up threes. They're going to give you layups, take layups. If they're going to come in and sell out to the dive, spray that out for threes to the guys on the weak side. Hit Zach dive. He's always looking for Zach. It's always his shot and Zach's dive is always a big thing for us. Then he did a good job of getting under control and jump stopping and hitting them on some of those bounce pass, score time passes that were very effective.
Right in the case last week.
You just kind of segued into my question, but after that kind of wonky first 4 minutes in the second half for your offense, you seem to get Braden and Zach in the more kind of two-man game action. How much did that kind of loosen things up and that kind of empowered both Braden and Zach to get going?
Yeah, a lot of the same finishes, but a lot of different starts in terms of how we were running stuff. Just trying to get them kind of in between their responsibilities, trying to get to Braden coming off that ball screen and then moving people around to the best of our ability so they can't load up on us. And I thought Braden made great decisions, all night. Not every one of his passes ended up being an assist. He had 8. But I thought he made great decisions the whole time.
Last one back here.
You talked about Zach going through the draft process. He also played for Canada basketball this summer. For you, what's the biggest thing that you've seen him improve that could make NBA, say, talent values looking differently?
Right. I think you have to keep it in perspective. I played in a third grade league when I was 5 years old. So where he's at in organized basketball is where I was at when I was 12. You know, I'm not saying he's a 12-year-old. I'm just saying the years that if you keep that in perspective, why shouldn't he get better? Because we all got better when we were 12, 13, 14 years old. We all made improvements in middle school through high school and then in college. Like you see NBA guys, you'd be like, who the hell's that? Well, some guy in college that was pretty good, but just kept improving and kept getting better and kept working on his game. And that's what he's been able to do. Obviously, it's very humbling for him to be able to be on the World Cup team for his country, have a chance to be on the Olympic team for his country. But, you know, obviously he didn't play as much. That's a humbling piece when you have all this success that he's had. So it's, you know, time to get to work, right? And so, like, that's always been kind of his ritual and what he does. You know, before practices, after practices, the work he puts in, watching film with Coach Brantley, putting in that kind of time, and just continue to learn. But a lot of times you get guys that size, even when they're good players, they don't have that nastiness to them. They don't have that, you know, that fire, that competitive edge. And he's got it. He's got that. Even sometimes he can be overly stubborn, but a lot of great competitors are that way.